Hi, today we're going to do a video about a header wrap. The product we're going to use is the Thermaltake Graphite Black Exhaust Insulating Wrap. Now, some of the things you're going to need: the head wrap itself. There you go. You're also going to need the stainless steel zip ties. Now, you can also use hose clamps. You might also want to use plastic gloves, long-sleeve shirt. Unless you don't mind getting inches skin, then be my guest and include in your bathing suit. I want to do a dry run first and pre-cut pieces based on different sections of the pipe that you can wrap. And then you want to soak them really nice. You want to make them very saturated. By the way, I'm one of those idiots who's not wearing the gloves, and I don't mind when my skin gets itchy. However, once again, the reminder is it would be very beneficial to wear the gloves.
Normally it'd be a lot easier to take the exhaust off, but the spigots on this bike are actually stuck and I don't want to damage anything, and we're feeling a little lazy because it's Sunday, so we're just going to go ahead and do it on the bike. Quickly show you how to start it. There's a lot of different methods, it's just the one I use. I'm going to make like a full overlap, and that's kind of going to hold it in place while you get going. You don't want to double wrap it on the whole pipe because it's going to hold too much heat in. We'll put a clamp on here later. You want to pull this real tight and almost wring the water out of it so it's not all loose and hangy. You know, overlap it about 50%. And you can almost see the outline from the underlying one. If you do it just right, it almost blends in. You'll be able to see that as it fades, but you get the idea. Corners are going to be kind of a bitch sometimes. You might not end up with exactly the 50% overlap because the backside is going to be wrapped more because we got to, you know, cover the whole outside of the pipe. Actually put a hose clamp up there. I don't want that moving. It'll look really shitty if it moves. Not saying that there's anything wrong with these, even though it would be nice if they stayed as tight as you put them originally.
Are these sufficient enough?
Those usually work good enough. If I could have wrapped the pipe all the way to the end, by removing this collar, that would totally be good, but I don't want this thing moving. And if I put a clamp, I can kind of cover up the spot that isn't covered. It'll just look a little bit prettier. I say keep in mind when you do your measurement, whether you use the chart based on pipe size and tape width, or if you just do a dry fit like we did to get an approximate length. Like I said, lazy Sunday, that's how we're doing it today. You still want to leave a little bit extra, because when you get to the end, you want to be able to pull it tight. You know, if you cut it exactly, you know, this last little bit's not going to be tight. You know, the last little bit once we get down there. So if you got to throw out 6 inches, you know, who gives a shit? Now situations like this, where you got like a joint or a pipe, you know, coming off the side of a pipe, a crossover tube, you're going to end up wrapping it a little extra than just 50%. Deal with it. Hopefully it doesn't hold too much heat in there and cause an issue with the metal. These pipes are in really good shape, so I'm not really worried about that for at least 10 years or so. The biggest issue with this stuff is it has the potential to hold in moisture. If you have steel pipes like these, it could like enhance the corrosion process. This bike doesn't get driven in the rain. It's very well maintained. And you know, if these pipes rot out, we'll just put some sweet aftermarket ones on there, so you know, the hell with it.
All right, so if you Google this stuff, people do say that the pipes may crack. What are the reasons for a cracked pipe?
They wrapped a really junk pipe. It can happen if you overwrap it, or maybe say you get a stainless steel pipe. The welds on that pipe are going to be brittle, and this is going to increase the amount of time that the pipe takes to dissipate the heat. That's why it's good. It keeps more of the heat inside the pipe. That's where you might get some performance from, because hotter air is less dense air. It's actually like, aiding in the exhaust flow. That's why you might get a little horsepower difference. You're not going to notice it. Like on this bike, we're just doing it for looks and to help minimize calf burns.